Heyo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy X coming at y'all with a brand new video, and in this video we are going to be talking about the best cards in Limited that you guys need to use to get that hopefully 6th and final ring to get yourself a free Galaxy Opal Russell Westbrook. So here are the weekly conditions, and make sure if you guys are excited for the video or just find it helpful in any way, make sure you guys smash the like button, as well as comment if you guys are somebody who used a card that I didn't mention in this video, you know, a nice little ruby or something that I didn't shout out. Leave it down in the comment section below. That way people have some more options that I just forgot about, and make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new as well. So week 6 is pretty simple and easy. You may only use ruby and gold player cards, and that's to match the whole Chinese New Year theme. It's a lot of red and gold, and it's actually really cool. Chinese New Year art every year in 2K is some of my favorite, and even just Chinese New Year art in general from China and stuff is pretty cool, and it's a lot of red and gold themes, and I think it's nice that 2K did it. It's kind of fun. Plus there's a lot of really good rubies, so it's not really like we're sacrificing a lot of cards. So my goal in this video is to show you guys basically 2 lineups, a starter and a bench, that you guys can use that is going to mop up the competition with some of the best rubies you could use in the game, and then talk about a few that I don't have in the lineup. So here's a limited lineup that I used in general without a backup center, which is tough. We kind of see our starters here, and I'll give you the best tip that I possibly can. Ruby Mo Bamba, period. Every single person that you are going to face in Limited, because I played 15 games to get my ring, it took me ages, got a bunch of free packs though, which was kind of cool, but every single person that I went up against was using this Ruby Mo Bamba. It's basically like a make or break card in Limited this weekend. You kind of need it. It's only like, I think I picked mine up for a 4K snipe when packs when Limited was right announced at like 11 a.m. So I got a little bit cheaper, but it's going to cost you like 6 to 7K MT, which isn't too bad basically for a needed player. And the reason Mo Bamba is needed is he is a 7-foot center, which obviously is going to be great, but he has one of those massive wingspans, which really help you out, being like 7'10" for his wingspan, which is awesome. And he's just a guy that plays amazing all around and can shoot the 3-ball, 84 mid-range, 83 3-point shot. He can dunk really crazy, which is great. And we have some really nice, interior defense of a 92, a 93 block, really good rebounding, and even has great speed and great badges, 30 of them as well, and a nice jumper. Sorry if you hear the cat meowing. But yeah, Mo Bamba just has great badges overall. Just a bunch of ones that you can really use to help yourself out. I mean, Intimidator, Rebound, Chaser, just all the key ones. Besides, I think, Clamps. I think that is one that our friend Mo Bamba is missing. And like quick first step, things like that. But he's a ruby, so he's not going to have everything. But overall, he is super, super solid. And he's just a card that everybody has. So you kind of just have to run him in order to basically equal out. Because the only really cards that can guard Mo Bamba is Mo Bamba. Kind of tough. And you guys can even see, I don't even have a backup center in this lineup just because Mo Bamba does it all, and usually these limited games go by pretty quick. A lot of people just quit if they're not going to get it. I did get in a lot of games where people just quit right off rip, so not even running a backup center, but I will shout one out once we get there. Now for PGs, there's a few options that you guys should use. I have 2 in the lineup here that I think are super solid in Jared Jack and Tony Rowe, and I'll talk about them in a little bit. But there is one more Ruby PG that I'll talk about after we go through these 2. That are actually pretty good, and he is, again, another one that everybody runs. But the sleeper is still Ruby Jarrett Jack. Ruby Jarrett Jack was my MVP. Like, seriously, my MVP. A jump shot 3 on this Jarrett Jack is light out greens every time. He's still 6'3", and to me, he kind of reminds me of, like, Curry. I don't know why. But he has a nice 87 midi, he has an 85 3-point shot, we have a good 75 driving dunk, and a decent tendency as well, so he does dunk pretty well. Great playmaking, and a good 87 steal and 87 perimeter defense, and 94s in the speed, which is gorgeous. Then he has 47 gold badges, and you guys will see all of these gold badges help him out in everything. Pick Dodger, Clamps, Defensive Leader, Interceptor. He has Circus 3s, Deep 3s on gold, Giant Slayer, Pro Touch, Slurry Finisher, Downhill, Quick First Step, like literally everything. And Hot Hunter as well. And you can pick up this Jared Jack for like 1K MT. Deep 3s goes for like 3 to 5 times the price that this Jarrett Jack is. It's out of this world. So pick up this card and you're going to be money. Plus, what's cool about this Jarrett Jack is, yes, he is a Ruby, but he's an Evo card as well. So once you're done with a limited weekend, you can actually Evo him up to an Amethyst, flip him for some MT, and then buy back the Ruby with that extra profit, which is awesome. And I've done it quite a few times to make my MT go up to 600k, Evo flipping. Tony Roten is one that's really good just because he's a defensive-minded guy with the Treyberg base, and he's 6'6", so he's got great height. He can still shoot the 3-ball, but 90 driving dunk. He's got great playmaking, 88 steal, 86 perimeter defense, great speed, and again, the Treyberg base, which kind of just feels nice. And I just like him because he's a good defender and a really good slasher with slasher takeover. And he's just really fun. The other PG that I want to shout out is one that did drop in the same set as Mo Bamba, and it is going to be Ruby Isaac Bonga. Bonga is like, you can see there's some for like 5k, but if you play your cards right, you might be able to get one for like 3 to 4k. But because he's kind of like hyped up right now with limited, they may be a little bit more expensive. But the great thing about Mo Bamba is he's 6'8" at the PG. Now, I still use Jarrett Jack and was able to shut down Isaac Bonga because everybody else in my lineup was such good defenders. And for the most part, people like to curry slide and do all that sort of stuff with Bonga, but then don't really know his release, so they actually miss quite a few threes, which works pretty well. But Bonga, again, on top of being a 6'8" guard, can still shoot the 3-ball with an 85, 86 mid-range. He has the Antoine Walker jump shot, which is great. He's a great slasher, great playmaker, and a really solid defender, especially on the perimeter, and has amazing speed with some really good gold badges. He's an amazing defender, an amazing playmaker, and an amazing finisher, and he's a decent shooter. He doesn't have the most insane shooting badges, but they're definitely pretty good. And overall, Ruby Bonga, definitely one of the best ones. If I'm being honest, I think if you have a starter in Bonga, just to make sure if somebody else has him to guard it, then you have Jarrett Jack off the bench to come in and just spray from 3. I really don't see a scenario where you're really at a disadvantage with these two guards because they're my favorite. But Tony Roten is another option if you already have him from some previous Idols packs and just forgot to sell the card after XP, like me, which is pretty cool. Now, for our general shooting guard, I just like to pick guys that have deep threes, can shoot, and still kind of have defense. Plus, ones that I've already been able to pick up and for cheap and just haven't sold back. Nick Anderson and Mike Miller are my two guys because basically they're kind of the same card. They're both, I think, 6'6" and 6'8", so they're both pretty tall. And the great thing about both of them is they have a 92 shot 3 on Mike Miller, and we have a, I think, 93 shot 3 on Nick Anderson. We have good dunking or decent dunking on both. They can speed boost and have solid defense and solid speed. And then both Nick Anderson has deep threes and then bronze clamps, which is awesome to see. Love to see gold deep threes. And then Mike Miller, same story. If we come over here, we have gold, or not gold, silver deep threes and circus threes, and then bronze clamps. So I just like these guys because Mike Miller has jump shot 4, really nice jumper, and I think Nick Anderson has jump shot 32, which is another really good, really smooth jump shot. And it basically means my two guards can sit at the hash, and I can just cheese with Jarrett Jack, and then if somebody even double teams or locks me up, Nick Anderson is there to bail me out and smack out the threes. So that's kind of what I look for at my two guards. It's just guys that can shoot the 3-ball pretty well, but still play a little bit of defense. It's basically like I want to see at least silver clamps, or not silver clamps, silver D3s and bronze clamps on my two guards, and it works pretty well if I'm being honest. I think the Ruby Wesley Matthews that comes for free doesn't have deep threes, but does have clamps. Or he has deep threes on bronze, so he also could be a pretty nice card to use because he was free, and he can still lock it up pretty well, although being undersized. Now, for my small forwards, I look for super defensive-minded guys that can still shoot a little bit, especially in the case of Brian Russell, but Bruce Bowen, who's on the bench here, also can do it pretty well. Now, Brian Russell is a guy that I absolutely love because he is 6'8", Scottie Pippen release, but here's the big deal for him: 93 three-point shot, 80 driving dunk, and then an 89 perimeter defense with good interior and good speed. And we also come with, you guessed it, clamps, intimidator, and deep threes all on gold, which is awesome. And again, I love running these Evo cards, especially like Brian Russell, because he is a Ruby. And then if we go all the way down and find him throughout here, 50 3-pointers and 25 steals are things that you're definitely going to slowly get throughout playing limited games, especially with Brian Russell. Great animations and really good tendencies for steals, so he'll get them on his own. So you can work up to an Evo that eventually will make him an Amethyst, get him a little bit better, mid-range ball handle and that sort of stuff, and he'll get Hall of Fame clamps and catch and shoot, so you can use him as like a bench option later on after limited, which I love. I love including Evo cards if I can in these limited lineups. And then Bruce Bowen is kind of just like a guard that I've had for forever, and he's, again, a 6'7" guy, 88 3-point shot, 96 perimeter defense, and we have really solid gold badges on defense as well. Bruce Bowen's definitely not one of the best rubies, but he's just one of the cards that I'm so, I guess, used to and so good with that I just kind of throw him in the lineup anyway. There are some other good, small forwards and stuff like that, but I'll cover more cards that are good, that are rubies, later on, right towards the end of it, because we're almost done. And then for the power forwards, or guys that I run at the power forward, Jonathan Isaac and Kyle Anderson are two of the best rubies you could use in the entire game to run at the 4. Jonathan Isaac, I'm assuming a lot of you guys know about him by now, 6'11", defensive demon. I mean, look at the badges. He clamps up. He's a god. Still has quick first step. Still has solid shooting. Jump shot 70 is amazing, and he can speed boost. Jonathan Isaac is a beast. But the slept-on card that nobody's talking about being one of the best rubies like in the game, Ruby Kyle Anderson is a god. Ruby Kyle Anderson seriously is a demon. He has that Brook Lopez jump shot base and a 6'9" frame, which is amazing. And if we check out the stats, really not bad. 84 mid-range, an 83 three-point shot. We have an 85 driving dunk, amazing playmaking. He has a 90 block, 93 steal, 90 perimeter defense, and an 89 interior. Like at 6'9", which is just, it is unreal. I don't know why nobody's talking about how great this Kyle Anderson is, but he seriously is a demon. Like, he is a demon. And we have some pretty nice rebounding as well as speed. And plus, at his 6'9" frame, he has a 7'2" wingspan, which is godly. For our badges, 43 of them gold, and they basically cover everything in finishing, playmaking, and defense. Not the most shooting badges, only has, I think, catch and shoot, corner specialist, hot zone hunter, things like that. Really simple badges, but, quick for step, things like that. We got them. But this Kyle Anderson is beautiful. Absolutely love him. I just finished up his XP challenges, and he is, wham, he is good. Plus, again, like I always keep talking about, he is an Evo. Although this one is a little bit harder to finish consistently. You need to block 30 shots and get 30 steals. But once you do, he becomes one of the best amethysts in the game now. Better defense even, a better three-point shot, and then he gets Hall of Fame clamps and a bunch of good gold shooting badges, which really helps him out. So it'll take you a little bit, but even then, I think at Ruby, this Kyle Anderson is amazing, especially run at the 4, because he got all-around great defense, and he can sit in the corner and spray threes for you pretty well. Now, I want to cover just a few more Ruby cards that I didn't, because I didn't give you a backup center and stuff like that. There's some better cards that I definitely didn't shout out that you can still use and can still really be good for you. So for the backup center is one that's really tough for me, to be honest, and the only guy that I can really recommend is Ruby Andrea Bargnani. If you look at a lot of the other Ruby centers, there's guys like Dino who are good, but I don't really like because they don't stretch the floor as well as somebody like Mo Bamba, and they don't play defense as well as somebody like Mo Bamba. But Andrea Bargnani I like because he does have the Amari Stoudemire jump shot base. He's got an 87 three-point shot, can dunk a little bit, still has some defense, and can shoot the 3-ball pretty great with bronze D3s, if I'm pretty sure, right there, which should help pretty well. He's not the best option. Again, you really want to run Mo Bamba, but if you want to back up, Andrea Bargnani is going to work really well. Another card that I think everybody knows about at the Ruby position that is just a demon, Ruby Markelle Fultz. He has the Curry jump shot base, is basically Curry without the Curry slide, but can dunk out of this world, and just has all these great gold badges for a Ruby, which is just amazing, including deep threes, circus threes, giant slayer, clamps, all that stuff. Markelle Fultz is an absolute demon that I feel like everybody should just try out at this point. Like, amazing. The next one that I do want to shout out that I didn't have anymore because I sold them, Ruby Kobe Bryant, is amazing. And if you have like bronze deep threes or something like that and you add it to Kobe, this card seriously plays out of his mind. Because you can see he's an 89 overall Ruby, but then his offensive defensive overall are 94 and 93. So he's actually a diamond, like undercover, which is awesome. Now, obviously, his stats aren't going to look good next to the Dwayne Wade because he's a Ruby and Wade's an Opal. But we'll move it to Phil Chenier, who's garbage. 87 mid-range, 87 three-point shot. He has amazing dunking. The Kobe Bryant base is godly. Great playmaking, good defense, awesome speed, and 47 gold badges, which all are super solid. And again, with Kobe Bryant, the only thing that we're really, I guess missing on next gen is going to be deep threes and sniper. Yeah, those to your Kobe, you're looking good. And maybe a Giant Slayer if you're really feeling fancy. I know usually people don't like to badge up Rubies, but I think with Kobe Bryant, it's pretty worth it because, it is Kobe. He's just an absolute demon. How could you not love a Kobe card? They're all just super solid. There's no other, good Rubies that can kind of fit in there. In the Flash set, there's a really nice Ruby over here in Ludort. really solid. And Lou Dort is one of those guys you put in, you can see it, 99 defensive overall. He's there to play defense and can actually hit the 3 and dunk a little bit. It's just everything else is pretty low. Like, rebounding is terrible. You can see the pass IQ and pass accuracy are terrible. Post game is not there. But 23 good gold badges. Amazing defender. This Lou Dort clamps up and is just one of the best defenders you could use on the perimeter. And still hit the 3 ball pretty consistently, pretty well. And again, like I said, these aren't all the rubies that are going to be good. These aren't all the rubies that, you know, you can pick up, you can use really good. So if you guys use different ones, leave them down in the comment section below. But my personal tip is always use cards that you can finish some XP challenges up. Make sure you're not forgetting about these like I did. I won my games and didn't do any of these challenges, so make sure you don't forget about those. And for the most part, just use the 3 golds to finish up the last 3 on your bench or something like that. It's really not too worth it. And again, always run Mo Bamba. Like if you guys did enjoy. If it did help you, again, smash the like button down below. Make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new. We are on the way to 10K subscribers, and leave your suggestions down in the comments. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see y'all in the next video.